Woohoo. All right. Welcome to episode 32 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC anime universe, co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And today we're talking Ra's al Ghul.
It's Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, we have a whole discussion ready for that, actually, because I did some research
right
on
off the
this.
bat.
I know, right? The gloves are off. But I do have some stuff to discuss about that specific point towards the end. But it's going to be like an hour in between of me constantly pronouncing it Roz and you pronouncing it Raish.
I mean, I also pronounce it Roz, but I feel like we need some kind of conflict to start in this show, and this is the best place for it.
That's true. You know what? We've been getting along too well.
Too well.
This entire time. This is the hill.
This is where we split. You take the Supermans, I take the Static Shocks, and we'll just leave it from there, Chris.
That actually sounds really amicable. Like, I'm pretty okay with that, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, crisis resolved.
Damn it. This is not working out. How do we be petty?
Well, if you try to take Batman Beyond from me...
I mean, I wouldn't. I couldn't.
Yeah, you know, and I wouldn't want to take Static from you.
I mean, I think it comes down to who gets Justice League.
Oh, I'll take...
No, it's all or nothing.
Oh, okay.
You can't split.
You can't
League
split
and Unite and Unlimited.
I was like, I'll take like normal if you want unlimited.
I mean, I would like Unlimited.
See, there we go. God damn it! There's not enough conflict in this podcast.
Yeah, it's a problem.
I know. We'll have to just bring in outside antagonism from this point on.
Yeah,
just so many guests that one of us doesn't like.
Okay.
All right.
We have a list going.
We just won't tell them who doesn't like them.
Right. That's their fun as the guest. They get to figure out who it is that doesn't like them.
Although it'll give away pretty quickly. I just skip over them in the introduction. Like, oh, okay, well, Chris hates me.
But you could also, like, fake them out and be like, oh, I thought Chris and I were really close, but are we really that close?
Yeah, I can just be overly nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is weird.
I like the strategy.
Yeah.
All right. We'll start culling our list together and we'll get cracking on it. But until then, and until we talk about Ra's al Ghul...
Ra's al Ghul.
There we go.
Do I have to do this every time?
Every time, yeah. What's happening in the world of comic book news? Anything to talk about?
The trailer.
What trailer?
Not Marvel trailer. Was it Thor?
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah.
Like, it wasn't Guardians, but it felt like Guardians.
It's very Guardians-esque, isn't it? But that is also awesome.
Yeah, it was so good.
Super excited for that movie.
And the idea right now, I was reading a couple reviews about it. Not reviews, ideas about it. And supposedly all that we saw in the trailer takes place in the first third of the movie. Because the main story is supposed to be like a road trip film with Hulk and Thor.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way, that we're only kind of getting... but that's not uncommon for first teasers, too.
Right. Kind of I mean, with this... Because the last big trailer we got was Spider-Man, where it feels like we have the whole movie. And it kind of upsets me. Yeah. Ugh. But, I mean, I still have a lot of hope for Spider-Man. That trailer didn't turn me off at all.
No, it made me maybe a little bit less excited. But I think it's still going to be pretty damn good. But, I mean, this looks really awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you can definitely tell that they've decided that the universe, like the outside Earth stuff, is going to be very Guardians focused, because that's very much what it looks like.
Yeah, and I mean, James Gunn set it up so well already that you don't really need to change anything.
No.
That's even why he tweeted that, like, this was my favorite trailer.
Yeah.
Like, no shit. He basically made it.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like so badass up to that, like, that last moment when Thor gets super excited to see the Hulk, and you're like, oh, this is adorable. Like,
I'm very curious how Loki is going to react seeing Hulk for the first time since his beatdown.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
They got that past of Loki getting whipped around like a rag doll.
Because I watched the trailer a few times.
Oh, I did.
A handful of times.
Yeah.
Less than 20, maybe.
Okay.
And there's like a small moment when Hulk pops out, and it shows the two of them, Space Jeff Goldblum and Loki sitting on the couch, and he like kind of turns his body away from the Coliseum, and I'm like, oh, he remembers, he knows.
Oh yeah, he does.
He
person
still fears.
He still fears.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I am super excited for that. unrelated to Marvel, did you see there were some casting announcements today? So this is coming. We're recording this on like Wednesday, so it's about a week behind by the time you guys listen to it. But we got Cable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That came out today.
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin's Cable.
Solid choice. I was hoping something a little bit more exciting or interesting or different, but I think he'll be great in it.
It's going to be interesting seeing him as Thanos and then turning around and seeing him as Cable.
Cable. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't know what I was hoping for. It's a good choice. It's a great choice actually.
Yeah.
But I guess I wanted something kind of weird and different. I was kind of hoping they'd like do a little counter casting, and this is very much like right in line.
Because the rumor went around briefly that it was going to be Keira Knightley.
No, I think that was for Domino.
Was
okay. Like way back in the day, I remember something like a fan art or something.
Yeah, someone posted that joke that Keira Knightley was going to play Cable.
I mean,
and that would still be hilarious.
Weird. I would have been totally on board for it. Though.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Maybe Natalie Portman.
No, I feel like it was Keira Knightley.
I mean, no, I would say I'd rather have it be the twin, just because I don't know. I have no reason to like her more, but I just do.
Oh, Natalie Portman over Keira Knightley?
Yeah.
I don't know. On like their IMDb profiles, they look like identical. It's weird.
I know that. I mean, like I said, in Star Wars they did play.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, like she played
Keira Knightley
handmaiden.
played the stand-in.
I forgot about that.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah. So we got that today, and then we also got the casting of young Dumbledore. We talked about Harry Potter
Jude
a lot
Law.
on this. So.
I wasn't sure if we should bring that up or not. Yeah, Jude Law is now young Dumbledore.
I am both incredibly pleased with that. I think that's a perfect choice, and also really mad because now I'm going to have to go see that movie, which
you don't want to see.
Well, no, because I think I enjoyed Fantastic Beasts when it wasn't just doing obvious franchise setup, and all that stuff really sucked, and pretty much all of it involved Johnny Depp, who I don't want to see as Grindelwald. But I really like Jude Law's Dumbledore. It's like so perfect. So I'm like, God damn it. Now you're making me go see this movie that I wasn't super keen on.
And that's what they were hoping for.
I know. Well, I mean, but it's also very much fits the Warner Brothers playbook, right? Because, I mean, Jude Law, he did Sherlock Holmes for them. He's now in the King Arthur movie for them.
Oh, yeah.
And they have like a long history of just bringing back actors, directors, producers, writers who have worked with them before, kind of regardless of whether they actually are good or not.
Right.
To just keep making stuff for them. So, but to be fair, I like him a lot. Maybe this next movie won't feel so Frankenstein-esque. Maybe it'll just be like a nice, solid story and not be half of one movie and then another third kind of tacked on at the end.
Do we know who's writing the next one?
I think it's still J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
But even then, it felt like there was a lot of franchise producing interference on that one.
Yeah.
I don't see her writing the Colin Farrell's actually. What's the bucket? Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
That whole thing. Spoilers for that movie, by the way, but fuck it.
Yeah. Everyone knows by now.
Yeah.
It's like saying that Snape killed Dumbledore. At this point, everyone knows, and it's...
Yeah. Some of us read
that. Where were you when you... Did you read that before you heard it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually read it.
All right, asshole.
Here I give you shit, and you were just telling me before this you actually were reading today. So.
I was reading today, yeah. I lost power. And it was a dark time. I didn't know what to do with myself.
How did the animated series look on a phone?
It sucked. There was a lot of detail I didn't see.
I'm sure. Well, don't worry. I took very thorough notes.
Good,
but I do have one bit of, I guess, kind of Batman news.
Okay.
Well, it is about Batman, but it's hard to tell if it's actual news or not. But so 2019 is going to be the 80th anniversary of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So what it seems like, or the rumor is that we're going to get 4 movies that year in theaters. Just because the production cycle, like, The Batman got delayed, and then they're trying to get Batgirl, Nightwing, and Gotham City Sirens out. So we're looking at up to 4
live action.
Unconfirmed.
Because I'm sure there's going to be some animated as
then at least 2 animated movies. One of them may be The Long Halloween, which could be really good. I love that story.
Yeah.
I think they could do a good adaptation of it. But my God, I hope that's not true. Cause
that's too much.
That's too much. I mean, I am kind of excited to hesitant on all those movies on some level, but all those in 1 year, 4 Batman movies in 1 year. What the hell is Ben Affleck going to do with his time? Like,
what about Lego Batman? There's a sequel. I'm searching right now.
I think the Lego movie, I want to say, is 2019, the next Lego movie.
That's right. Yeah.
Which he'll be in, but it won't be Lego. But oh my God. Because there's no way they're going to do those spin-off movies and not have him at least have a cameo in them at some point, right? That's too much. Like, I'm sorry. Like, even though I like Batfleck, like, I really generally do like him, although I think he wasn't utilized that well. That's too much in 1 year. So I'm hoping that it doesn't actually pan out that way. Again, I've read this in a couple places, but there's no official release dates yet for any of those movies, so it's hard to tell.
And I mean, with how DC's been handling their films so far, we're most likely going to have some of those get pushed back.
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Because even Star Wars isn't even that crazy.
No, even like they're smart one Star Wars movie a year.
Yeah,
and they're using things like Rebels and all the books and stuff to kind of keep interest going in between. Mm-hmm. But again, better management. And we'll actually be talking more about the future of the Batman movies later on. Some stuff to talk about with Ra's al Ghul here.
Rish.
God damn it, every time. But before then, let's talk The Demon's Quest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, you had to watch it on a phone, but what did you think?
So, I have a quick question, just right off the bat. What was he breaking into? What was Robin breaking into? Because I couldn't read the sign.
His own room.
It was, okay, I thought it said university, and I didn't.
So,
okay.
I guess that's his way of, like, sneaking back into the dorms, is dressed as Robin climbing into his own window?
Maybe there's, like, strict curfew. I don't know.
I guess. Or I thought, did he have a roommate? But I don't think so. Like, you think he wouldn't choose?
Well, he did at one point because it was the football player.
Yeah, but does he? I guess we don't know enough. He has one now. He's being quiet, so it seems like he's trying not to make any noise and disturb anyone. Maybe a roommate. But you think that's super risky? Like, you'd think he would, maybe change somewhere else and then just
walk in
the front door.
I think like with all the shit that happens in Gotham, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a curfew.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But again, you still think he'd try and break in.
He's like the
Dick
goody.
Grayson.
Yeah, he's like the goody two shoes guy.
Robin. That's a really.
But then he has a scapegoat if he does get caught. Like instead of like Dick, you're out of bed, you're in trouble. It's like Robin. Oh no, is there a problem? Yeah. He's like, oh, Dick Grayson is missing, and I'm doing an investigation.
Detective work. No, I'm not Dick Grayson. I just look like him, sound like him, and wear colors of the same pattern as his family did before they died horrifically, which would have been a good motivation to start fighting crime.
Yeah,
but it's not me.
There's no way that I am Dick Grayson. But he's like trying to assume the one billionaire in our city is also the man who can afford to throw batarangs around and drive different types of unique vehicles.
As we see in this, at least one person on the planet figured all that shit out.
Yep.
So
Ubu.
Yes, it was all Ubu. Man, that guy's no one gives him credit. He's actually quite smart.
Yeah,
but I do
good because he's a really shitty fighter.
I know he's terrible.
He lost 3 times in 2 episodes. One time with 1 punch.
I know you think that Ra's al Ghul could have a better talent pool to draw from.
That's his right hand man.
I know.
Like, he's supposed to be the best of the best.
Well, this is why he needs Batman so desperately.
Yeah,
look what he's working with.
Yeah.
He's got Ubu and a bunch of nameless, faceless villains that all just kind of look like Omar Sharif from Lawrence of Arabia.
Ubu, I just like, I don't know why the name Ubu just like,
it's really
sent like a shiver down my spine every time they said it. Maybe that's what they were aiming for. Like, it's the really stupid name, but it also is like, maybe I don't want, like, he's a big guy, and big guys with stupid names usually can beat the shit out of you.
That's true. Well, they have to, because they have stupid names.
Yeah.
Ubu.
Or stupid voices like Mike Tyson.
Oh my God, yes. He really should do more voice work. He
had his TV show for a little bit.
I never watched it, but it looked weird and funny. Kind of. I don't know.
Oh, you can see him in Ip Man 3.
Oh, that's right. I'll eventually watch the rest of those, maybe at some point. I did like the first one. I was just super tired.
That's good. Yeah.
But I did like that scene though where he gets kidnapped. Like I thought the lighting was cool, and like the music cues were cool, and also I think that's our first ever prelude.
Yeah,
right?
It was. I was very because it started, and I'm like, "There's no title card."
Yeah,
I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, and then we get the title card as we go into the Batcave, and I kind of like that they chose to do that. Even that small little change makes it feel like a completely different episode. And these 2 episodes did feel really different than kind of every other one.
Right. This felt like a movie.
Yeah, it is very cinematic. Like the plot starts right away. Like the title card in the Batcave, Batman comes in, both Dick and Robin haven't been seen for a while, and we get the stakes are established immediately. He gets the letter. It has a picture of Robin with a dagger up to his neck, and it says, Batman, come find him. So automatically, someone knows his name, like his identity, and Robin's in danger. Mm-hmm. And in strolls, in the Batcave, Ra's al Ghul and Ubu.
And Ubu, we cannot forget the great man.
No, and I mean, obviously Bruce is pissed, one, because someone's figured out his identity and someone's kidnapped Robin. There's this random guy in his house. And I guess...
But not just any random, because Batman knows who this random guy is.
That's true, yeah.
He knows who the Demon's head is.
Well, he
knows the name. He knows of this person.
That's true. He knows... Oh, that's right, yeah. He does know of Roz. He knows, of the Demon's head, and he obviously knows Talia from Vertigo, because Roz is like, oh, look, see, like, they're kidnapped together. Here's a Polaroid photo of the two of them tied up. It's like, oh, your Talia's dead. Like, oh, yeah. He's got plans for you.
Where I've one more quick side note question. That the beard,
the weird beard.
Where did I see it as like snake fang, not snake fangs. Like,
they're kind of fang-esque. Yeah, kind of off the weird. Yeah.
Where did that emerge from?
I think is it derived from the Fu Manchu? It's not a like straight up Fu Manchu.
Yeah. I know the Fu Manchu is the actual mustache.
But is it derived from that? Let me
maybe.
Let me look this up here.
This is what I can't do when I don't have internet at home. I can't research any of this stuff.
Well, I typed in Fu Manchu mustache, and the images that pop up are obviously Christopher Lee as Fu Manchu and Hulk Hogan.
Okay, yeah, Hulk Hogan does have a pretty good Fu Manchu.
Let's run with the assumption that it's based off of Hulk Hogan. Oh, actually, Sam Elliott's on here too. That man's got fantastic facial hair.
Yeah,
but none of those really are. I don't know what.
Well, it's not the mustache though. It's the beard. That,
the goatee.
Yeah, it's like two goatees.
No, I can't spell goatee right. There's not an H in goatee. I don't know what else that.
Well, that'll be one of our like bonus content posts for the Facebook.
Oh, so I gotta do so much more research now.
All right, I can post it.
Okay, good. You posted.
I posted. Yeah,
you posted the Batman of Shanghai thing. I was so happy when I saw
didn't know it was a Cartoon Network short.
Oh, it was. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, actually, okay, that explains the production value on it because it is exceptional. What were we talking about? Something with Roz.
Roz walks in.
Oh yeah, facial hair.
Batman knows who he is.
Yeah, so
he knows Talia.
It's like, all right, I'll come along with you. We'll go and try and find them together.
He deduces the first location is in India.
Oh yes, based off the knife.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to Calcutta there, and I thought it's so funny to see Batman just like casually sitting in an airplane and just sitting in the back of a Jeep.
Yeah,
it's weird. It doesn't quite work. I feel like if you did it in live action, it would look really bizarre.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's a lot of things in this that would look really bizarre in live action. The major one we've already talked about before, which we'll
get to.
Oh,
it was so glorious,
so forced. It's so good. But yes, they go to Calcutta. They get attacked. Batman figures out that they're actually in Malaysia, so off they go to Malaysia. Sorry, Mom, I'm going to call you back.
It was very much a like where in the world's Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, very
episode.
Oh, good poll.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't think I ever actually watched that show.
I remember watching a few episodes because it would come on before all the good cartoons would come on.
Fair enough.
That was the 7:30 a.m. show, and then 8 o'clock is when all the good stuff started. That was when actual Saturday morning cartoons started.
Yeah, like Batman.
Yeah.
Pokemon. I forget what else is on
Kids WB. Teen Titans was on there for a little bit. Mucha Lucha, which is one of my favorites.
Oh, that's right. You talked about that one before.
Shaolin Showdown. These are obviously much later.
Yeah.
Tiny Toons was on there for a little bit.
Tiny Toons.
Justice League. I can go on forever.
I know you can. I'm going to cut you off because you really can go on forever. So they're in Malaysia, and then they figure out they're actually
he's attacked by a...
Oh, they go. Oh, that's right. He goes into like a chamber, and a panther attacks him, and he gasses the panther.
Yeah, he does a little bit of what's the in like not. Spain.
Oh well, I mean bullfighting.
Yeah, what are those guys called again? Not luchadors. Matadors. There we go.
I was gonna say conquistador, and that's definitely wrong.
No, matadors.
Matadors, yeah. Well, because I love it because the panther attacks him, so he wraps it up in his cape and cowl, drops in like a sleeping pellet. Obviously, the cat goes to sleep, and then he just puts the cowl back on.
Yeah, he's immune at this point.
It's probably it's true.
I'm sure that the panther absorbed all of the toxins.
Yeah,
in that 10-second period.
Yeah, poor kitty. Poor kitty goes bye. So then there's a map with a faint fingerprint trace.
Yeah, fingernail.
Fingernail.
It scratched the paper, apparently. And actually, I had to watch that part twice because my phone was being dumb. They actually did draw in, like, a faint line. And I'm like, look at that detail.
I know. See, they actually plan these things out sometimes.
Yeah. So they were in the Himalayas all along.
And so then they're flying in the Himalayas, and Batman jumps out of the plane. This I love because he's full bat suit, wearing a parka and a parachute.
Yeah.
But I particularly love is they parachute. He just alone parachutes in, and as he's parachuting in, the plane with Roz and Ubu gets shot out of the sky, and then there are gunmen on skis. And I love because in my research, I found that when they originally created the character, one of their inspirations was specifically On Her Majesty's Secret Service, so the Bond film and also the book.
Okay,
and
I was going to say it felt very James Bond.
The whole thing is very James Bond, but a few of these elements in particular. So from that story, they pulled the idea that there's this crime boss, Draco, in the book, who wants Bond to marry his daughter, the Contessa Teresa di Vincenzo. Sorry, man, Bond's my
no, I know.
Bond's my jam, maybe even more so than Batman. So they pulled that idea in there. But what I love is part of On Her Majesty's Secret Service is there are gunmen on skis. So I feel like that was kind of deliberate placement on their part. Maybe that was in the original comics I never read, too. Because these are direct adaptations of a comic. It's like Daughter of the Demon, which is Batman number 232 in 1971, and then The Demon Lives Again from Batman number 244 and 72 by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. So, for whatever that's worth. But that's why, like on this one, Denny O'Neil's the only credited writer on this episode. 'Cause I guess maybe he actually wrote this episode as well. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's just they didn't change enough, so they didn't have to. Whatever. But gunman on skis, always good.
Yeah.
So what happens next?
Batman is taken. No, he gets a. Yeah, he digs under the snow, under the gunman, and knocks them out from behind.
Oh, that's right.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
And then he goes into the hangar and finds Robin. Lets Robin out, and then Roz comes out again, and you realize
in the demon's head mask.
Yeah, which looks like a Great Dane.
Well, I think it's supposed to be like a jackal.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like an Egyptian jackal sort of thing. Yeah, and Batman's like, oh, well...
He's been behind it all along.
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
So, do you remember his detective work, his reasoning for why he thought it was Roz? Do you remember what the details were?
Yeah. He knew immediately because how could Roz have known they were kidnapped on the same night?
Yeah.
I would have thought it was when they were still in India, the guy comes down from the roof, and Roz just is staring at the guy, smiling as he falls on top of Batman.
Yeah, I mean, it was telegraphed all the way through because Batman even references, all the assassins knew exactly where we were going to be and where we were going and all that stuff. And
then the one time Ubu let him walk in front of Roz when it was the trap.
The trap. The one that I thought needed addressing was the fact that so far in this whole universe, it seems like Ra's al Ghul is the first person to deduce that Batman is Bruce Wayne, right? Mm-hmm. So, despite...
Only because, though, he didn't actually figure it out. Well, he made a list of all of the people that could afford to be Batman.
Yeah.
And then he just asked Talia because Talia saw Bruce without his mask on.
Face, yeah.
And he just asked her which one it is.
Yeah. Which one looks like the guy you met?
But the least amount of detective work.
Not a lot. But so someone has discovered this. So, I mean, it seems like a joke to us, but so in this universe, it is very hard to figure out the two of them are the same person, right? Mm-hmm. You'd think his first clue that Roz is behind it was the fact that he gets a letter proving that someone has figured out his identity at the same time as someone he doesn't know walks into the Batcave, thereby proving someone else knows his identity.
Yeah.
You're not going to have two people figured out at the same time.
That's true.
And I mean, again, nitpicking, but that you think that would have been an indication to there's not a lot of people who figure this shit out.
Yeah. I mean, who was the Doctor Strange?
But he figured it out by watching
the memories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But this is the first person, as far as I can remember.
Oh yeah, who did it on their own?
Yeah, who just deduced, who just basically just looked at the situations like, oh, it's got to be this person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we now discovered that this is all a setup for Roz to test Batman's mettle, and he's proven that he's a worthy heir to his empire and a suitor for his daughter.
Yes, to be the next demon head and to make his daughter Miss Batman.
Yeah.
Mrs. Batman.
Mrs. B.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty damn good offer if you stop and think about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Because Roz is kind of a maniac, and he has terrible means of going about his goals, but his goals aren't necessarily that terrible.
But he also has this entire army at his hand that can kind of make the world better, quote unquote, in however the demon head sees fit.
Yeah. It's something I've never quite understood is why Batman always says no. I mean, I guess he kind of wants to do his own thing. And I guess he's kind of got this loner thing going on, but he could literally have an incredibly loyal army at his command. So if he just says, no more killing, we're doing it this way, they would follow him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder if there's obviously I don't know everything about the Demon Head storyline or that role that it takes, but maybe is there like some clause where it's like we have to what's the salt and burn? What is my mind is in like 7 different places right now. The old war tactic where you would burn wouldn't you salt it and then burn it so crops couldn't grow anymore?
Yeah. What's that called? Salt and... No, I want salt and straw. Really good ice cream, by the way.
I was there earlier this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I can't find it.
Whatever.
Oh, it's going to drive me nuts.
I don't know what I'm even talking about anymore. I'm sure Batman could command it. My idea that I was trying to get across is maybe like if the head decides to disband it, that means that they can kind of fight to be the next head because he's unworthy.
Oh.
That was the idea I was trying to get that I couldn't put into words very well.
Okay. Oh, like if someone could rise up and try and kill Batman.
Yeah, if the subordinates see the head is unworthy of being the leader anymore, then they can kind of choose in their ranks to be the true leader.
I suppose that's true.
They don't see him as strong enough.
Yeah, maybe it's not worth the headache of having to try and like keep that massive army in line, especially because if
he can barely keep Dick in line. Do it.
Do it. No.
I set it up.
It's too easy. It's like one of those jokes. It's like it's too easy to go for. There's like too many options to go. I didn't know where to go with that. I'm tired.
It's fine. We're doing this one late.
It is late, but yeah. I guess it might be too much of a hassle to try and keep everyone. And if you eliminate the possibility, like the threat of death, if you're an insubordinate, then I suppose you sow the potential for mutiny amongst your ranks.
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. I get why he doesn't agree to become the Demon's Head.
I'm sure he has other reasons that I've talked about in other comics, but
they don't explore it here. But there is a great moment though, because as you mentioned before, Ubu keeps insisting that Roz goes first, and he keeps knocking Batman out of the way and calling him an infidel. And every time that happens, Batman just like through gritted teeth, it's like, strike one. And then eventually he wakes up to strike 3, and so Ubu just goes to punch him, and Batman just catches the fist. And it's kind of implied that like
snaps his wrist.
Yeah. Oh, it's working fine later, but like breaks his wrist and the guy just goes down like in an instant. Is that the most badass we've seen Batman yet in the entire series?
I mean, until their third fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's just
one motion, just like a crack.
Yeah.
Well, he does also throw him over him. Like
That's true.
He picks up Ubu and throws him back towards Roz.
But like even the whole way he was just like kind of letting things go all the way through, and then when he finally goes, like this whole episode is him just being in like full on badass mode. He's like jumping out of planes and fighting tigers and taking huge guys out in one punch.
Yeah.
And he's just completely, he's not really one step ahead of everything, but he's on equal footing with someone who thinks he's behind him.
Yeah.
All the way through. Yeah.
He's on the same level as, Roz thinks he's one step ahead.
Exactly.
And Batman is just is on that same plane.
He's a goddamn detective.
Yeah. And that's how Roz continues to
refer to him.
Yeah, refer to him as the detective.
I love that. I've always loved that nickname.
Yeah.
For him. It's so cool. But this entire time Roz has been like sick, and so they finally need to put him into one of the Lazarus pits to resurrect him. They do, and he comes out and he's crazy.
Yeah. Great evil laugh.
Oh, an amazing David Warner does the voice. You probably don't know who that is. It's fine. Do you remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze?
Yes.
He is the TGRI scientist.
Oh, okay.
In that movie, who like follows them along and like creates the ooze and is helping them try and like turn back. What are the monsters? Taka and Razor.
Oh my gosh, my friends are gonna hate me this episode.
Yeah.
Oh man. So the animation in this moment is awesome.
It really is, though.
They did a great job with like the Lazarus pit exploding, and you see the demon eyes kind of pop out, and it was really cool.
Yeah, the whole thing is super well animated. Like, this just feels like they really stepped up their game of the production overall. Like, it's well written, the animation's great, like the drama's good, storytelling's good.
Yeah,
these are awesome episodes.
I feel like this is how we imagine every other episode.
Yeah, I
when
agree
we
with that.
think back about them.
Yeah,
because this is like the story could easily still be told today. Like, you could show this episode today, and kids wouldn't think that it was a 90s cartoon.
No.
Like, some of the other stories, there's a little slower start. It's just kind of how media has evolved over time. Like, obviously, older stories take a little more time to set up.
Yeah.
There's a little more drag in them. But with this, like, everything is on beat, and it hits kind of every point right after another.
Yeah.
And it was really well done.
Yeah, I mean, this is like on par of the sort of like two-part storytelling that was done in Justice League.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just like the maturity and the complexity and just the awesomeness of it. But I think of the two, I like the first one better.
Okay.
I don't know. What about you?
I don't know. I think I like them both pretty equally.
Okay,
I don't know
yeah.
if I could pick one.
Again, I think these are up there with. For me, I think still Robin's Reckoning is the best two-parter. I think this is quite up there with it. Less of emotional punch, but still really solid.
Yeah, I think story and animation wise, I think I'd put this above Robin's Reckoning.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, I mean it's better than
I just want to fight, Chris. I just want to fucking fight.
Can't we all just get along, guys?
No. I think the Sewer King is the best villain.
You don't even believe your own words right now.
I don't have to.
Okay, before we get into part two, I actually remembered this time to have a point to cut in our promo. This week it's for the best medicine, which I'm less familiar with. It's relatively new, but it's a whole bunch of improv sketches. So
cool.
I listened to their promo, and I'm going to say right now, I apologize, guys, and I apologize to the best medicine too, but that promo is fucking terrible.
Aww.
But it's a bad promo. But I looked at the episodes. The people who are in them are like some of the best improvisers in the school. And
Is
like,
anyone that we know?
everyone we know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's like take anyone off the house teams. Take like Ptolemy. He's in a few of them too. Like
Ptolemy.
yeah. So I haven't listened to it admittedly, but I think I will. I imagine the podcast is much better than the promo. But here it is.
Hey y'all, it's me, Tammy Totson.
Hello, my name is Bill.
You know me, I'm Dionysus, the god of wine.
Are you tired of bars telling you about how good their record is?
I found gold under my grandma's house and I didn't know what to do with it. But then I heard this commercial and I said, okay, here you can take all 4,500 pounds of this gold. I got $26 and now I can go to Arby's.
Call today! 1-888-ASS-FOOT!
Side effects include depression.
The best medicine podcast here on the Nerdist School Network.
Stop dressing up your cat and fall in love.
And there you go, listeners. You know what I'm talking about. Poor Cameron doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'll play it for you afterwards. It's
Okay, that's fine.
I know I feel bad besmirching them, but it's a really bad promo.
Well, if we want to kind of save them, I don't know if you saw this, but shameless plug, Project Alpha.
Oh,
the new kind of combined love child of Nerdist School and Geek and Sundry and regular Nerdist and Hyper RPG are all coming together to make this kind of online platform. SVOD, right? Series of videos on demand.
I
I think that's the term. That's what we use in my office.
Sure, let's call it that.
There is now one for the Nerdist School with Ptolemy, Slocum, and Derek Miller, and it's a 12-part improv class.
Yeah.
So for people who always wondered about improv, you can now sign up for Alpha and watch their 12 classes.
Yeah.
And a couple of the people that we know are in it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt and Sarah are both in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, yeah, I do want to check that out actually, although I don't actually have Alpha. So I should probably
Only $5 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. I'll be a spokesperson for a minute.
Yeah. Well done, Cameron.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, poorly done. We got to argue more.
Fuck you, Chris.
I can't stay mad at you.
Nope.
Nope.
So part two.
Part two. Roz is out of the pit. He's angry as shit.
And just gets slapped back into
Gets
reality.
the crazy slapped out of him by his daughter.
It was amazing. I loved that moment.
It's so ridiculous. But so that happens. Then Batman, of course, once again turns down the offer to become the next Demon's Head.
Mm-hmm.
So
Roz admits that no person can live forever. Like we know that he's lived for about 500 years now.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. But the pit seems to the effects last.
Mm-hmm. They get crazier and crazier.
Yeah, every time. So basically, Rod's like, all right, well, fuck you. Moonwalks out of there, hits the self-destruct button. Another very Bond-esque moment.
This bugged me. As someone who has turned off as many light switches as I have by just leaning on a wall, that it's so irresponsible of him to just have the button not even at like a high point where you have to reach up. It's at like hip level where anyone, I guess no demon is allowed to lean. That is the strictest rule of the assassins.
That demon's head is hell high. That posture's amazing. You never lean on anything.
Yes.
Walls included.
Yes. The assassins are very highly trained. There is no leaning in this. Because it's literally just it's on the wall you're walking out.
It's next to a giant door. You would think it's like the button
a light
close
switch.
the door.
Or
or
the door button.
The whole place just starts crumbling down. Oddly enough, it doesn't blow up, mind you, though.
It just crumbles.
Just the whole thing just crumbles.
I mean, it couldn't blow up because the whole plan is to have the Lazarus pits blow up later.
Yeah, I guess
so I think they still needed that.
I guess so, yeah. But there wasn't... Yeah, that's a good point, actually. It doesn't really make sense when you jump back and they were at a Lazarus pit and none of that stuff was there.
Yeah. Maybe they just set it up real quick.
Yeah, these guys are real fast.
Yeah.
Big army they got working for him here. But even the fact that Roz leads him to an easily escapable death trap, I mean, everything about that is so James Bond. Yeah. But it is a cool moment when the thing's crumbling down and Batman and Robin jump onto the rope they use to submerge themselves into the pit, and then they climb their way out. I think all that stuff too was used in the Adventures of Batman and Robin intro, and it changed over.
Okay, I don't remember the intro.
It all looks really
familiar.
Well. So we'll watch it. I'll post it.
Yeah, I mean, we can also just wait 6 weeks. I guess
no, I mean
3 months.
If you both the DVD and the Amazon, I think use the old intro all the way through.
Oh,
because even the new Batman Adventures half the time they use the original animated series intro.
Oh, that's a shame.
So the way we were watching it, we may never actually get a chance to just see the Batman and Robin Adventures intro.
Okay,
real shame.
We'll watch it afterwards.
Yeah. But so Batman and Robin shuffle the way down to Wayne Enterprises' Nepal office, rather conveniently.
Yep.
And they figure out that Roz has a satellite in geosynchronous orbit over a point in the Sahara Desert.
Yeah.
Right? That's what happens?
Yeah. And I didn't understand how they were able to... So the satellite is orbiting the Earth. How are they... This might just be a stupid question as someone who doesn't understand satellites. How do they know... Because it passes over a lot of points on the Sahara Desert. It's a line across.
So that's two things that don't make sense. Yeah, because they make it seem like it is in a fixed position over a point. Which, if that were true, then they could use that to figure out where they were roughly. I mean, it's a little approximate. They could figure out.
Yeah.
Roughly. But
this is the early '90s. People don't understand satellites.
No, I still don't understand satellites.
Yeah.
I just watched GoldenEye a whole bunch. That didn't answer my questions. So, but if it is in fact moving, then that wouldn't work for them to go figure out where it is.
Right. It might have been stopped because you do see it. There's like a projection. And it does orbit and it does stop.
I'm just gonna blame Len Wein because he did the teleplay for this episode.
Okay.
Whenever things don't make sense, I just blame him.
It's all your fault, Lynn.
It's probably not fair, but I'm just gonna do it anyways because I can. But so they get their way out there. Again, Batman parachutes out of a plane into the desert. He does an awesome takedown of one of the henchmen.
Oh, that was very.
Oh my God.
Reminded me of Spawn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Batman, there's a bunch of assassins riding camels into the stronghold. Batman jumps on top of the camel, wraps his cloak around one of the assassins, knocks him out because it's just like a pitch black cloak. Knocks him out and just kind of like slides out from the side. And it was so cool.
Again, his badassery just keeps getting better in these episodes.
Yeah.
That probably the coolest takedown I've seen him do in this show.
I think
because normally he just like taps some guy on the shoulder and punches him in the face, but he's like actually being really sneaky and cool in this one.
It bothered me a little bit in the next part where he's wearing the full
Like the full desert gear.
Yeah, desert gear with the mask under.
Yeah.
No one in this is like either everyone in this assassin groups already knows who he is, or no one is going to be anywhere near Gotham to ruin ruin his identity.
Oh, like the fact that it keeps the cowl on rather than taking it off. Yeah, but I mean,
it does look cool. I will give it that. It looks cool.
And I mean, I do love a good moment when Batman wears the disguise over his bat suit. We've seen him do it before with like a police uniform.
Yeah.
And now with like some desert gear. I love it because it looks so ridiculous.
So it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love it. And of course he eventually gets caught. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, hey, wait, Roz, you need to do your monologue so I know what your villainous plot is.
Yeah, I loved that. He's like, it wouldn't hurt to just tell me what you're going to do, right?
So what you up to there, Roz? Huh? What's going on? And what is he up to, Cameron? What's his...
He's going to
do you
drop...
understand this?
Kind of. He's going to drop bombs in all of the Lazarus pits around the world.
Yeah.
The way he described it, the Lazarus pits are kind of like surface-level volcanoes.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
like,
they all
can some source underground.
Yeah, they all connect kind of to the core of the planet.
Yes,
that's kind of how I understood it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got out of it.
And he was going to blow all of the bombs up at the same time, causing like a flood.
I guess I mean,
causing natural disasters to happen all over the world.
Exactly, and he's going to kill 3 billion of the. I looked this up. About 5.5 billion people that were on the planet in the early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad I was going to Google that, and I didn't.
Well, it's fine. Again, you had no power today.
I lived a very, very solemn life today.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have internet. You were basically living. You were essentially living like it was 1992, except for the fact that you were watching a cartoon on your phone.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how big TVs were back then, right?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the screens were about that size, but they would go like 3 feet deep.
Yeah.
To fit all that fantastic cathode ray tube technology.
Yeah.
So all these bombs are going to go off, and I guess they're waiting for he said something about the sun and the moon to be in the proper alignment, but then he's talking about the satellite being in alignment. So they're in very, again, James Bond fashion, they're waiting for something to line up so they can start a countdown rather than just doing it.
And not like a 10-second countdown either.
A 5-minute countdown. And we completely skip over the fact that once Batman is caught, Roz says, take away his belt and then search him to make sure he doesn't have any other booby traps.
And how do they search him, Chris?
They just rip his bat shirt off from the sides. Full chest exposure.
Shreds.
Full chest exposure. They even go to take the cowl off. He's like, no.
Leave that on.
It's a mark of honor.
Honor. He just wanted that to be the last memory he has of Batman.
It's so forced.
Oh, I love it. and then after he tells the story, he's like, take him away. And Talia just can't resist at this point. Like, I'm amazed that she lasted that long without jumping
I get where she's coming from.
Jumping on that man meat.
Yeah, I mean, those pecs and that cowl together.
It's a perfect combination.
I know.
It really showed me what I've been doing wrong in the dating scene in LA.
Can you please?
Maybe for Comic-Con.
For Comic-Con. That would actually be an amazing Comic-Con costume.
Yeah, because it's always so hot. I mean, the convention center is cold, but like, I was doing outside stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not fit enough to pull that off.
Neither am I. I mean, I have a couple months.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
But
someday.
That is now on my life goals to cosplay at Comic-Con as shirtless Batman
with the sword and everything.
Oh, of course, with the sword. Yeah. Wait, hang on, Cameron.
Oh,
we're gonna go team costume. One is Batman, one is Ra's al Ghul.
Okay. Would you rather have the beard or the muscles?
I'm gonna go with the muscles.
All right. I'll start working on my facial
I feel like you could get the Ra's hair pretty well, actually.
Maybe.
You've got long, dark hair that actually you can work with. I think you could get the Ra's hair going on.
Okay.
The challenge would be we have to stay separated most of the time, and then just like once an hour, just meet up somewhere and just draw.
Yeah. Just draw swords.
Oh my God. This has to happen at some point. Mm-hmm. We should also finish talking about the show.
No.
But
they've got it.
They get into a shirtless sword fight. Mm-hmm. And first Batman.
Talia kissed him because she gave him a key to.
A lockpick. Yeah. Right. He gets out. He drops a grenade into an ammo dump. The whole place blows up. Once
those
justified.
Sound effects were so eerie because it was the whistle before the explosion, which we've never had before.
Launching rockets too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that I don't know why. If it was maybe just like we hadn't had that in the show yet.
Maybe.
But it just like added so much anticipation for
Man,
me
you
because
had
there
some-
wasn't much music.
No, there wasn't. But you had some very visceral sound reactions in this.
Because I was watching on a 4-inch screen.
Between the missiles and the ubu, you really... You found a way to resonate with it, though. I appreciate that.
No, those like the high pitched whistle before the explosion. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh, this feels like intense now.
I mean, but it did have that sense of like epic scale. I mean, so the whole place is blowing up now, which you see all the time, but like they're standing their ground, like they're having a shirtless sword fight in the middle of this exploding fortress.
Yeah. Roz tries to show off as well by taking his shirt off because you
Yeah.
can't have. It's weird if one person is wearing a shirt in a fight.
That's true, absolutely. That's what I always
Any
say.
martial arts film can tell you
Yeah.
that. If one person loses a shirt, you can bet the other person's going to throw
Well,
their
also,
shirt
I
away
mean,
too,
he's
or
got-
just rip it.
Yeah, he's got the post-Lazarus buff thing going right now.
That's
I mean,
true.
he came out basically as buff as Batman. I mean,
Yeah.
and significantly older than him too. I mean, if you got it, you flaunt it.
Yeah.
So, but they get into a fight. Batman throws his sword into the satellite link, which then causes the countdown to stop, and then I guess the satellite to fall out of orbit, and I guess not send the signal out to detonate all the bombs in all the Lazarus pits. My thought on this though was, what was their plan here? Because so if that bomb had gone off, wouldn't one of the natural disaster points have been where they all were? So wouldn't it have killed all of them? And also, if Roz blows up all of his Lazarus pits, wouldn't he never be able to resurrect himself again?
Well, did we see the bomb at their location? And that might have been like the last Lazarus pit that he was going to use.
I mean, I thought I remember them having a crane with a bomb. I think they were going to blow that one too. They were lowering a bomb into that Lazarus pit, I thought.
I don't know. I mean, we do have the one that we didn't see, the first one we didn't see a bomb at.
That's true.
It's now caved in, but like he has the resources.
But I'm pretty positive I remember them lowering a bomb into this one, which it would kill all of them.
Yeah, I mean, he is insane at this point. We do see
That's
that.
true. But I mean,
The thing that kind of bugged me with this plan, which is kind of the thing with all kind of Bond villains, is if he never would have approached Batman, he could have easily gotten away with this.
Oh, yeah.
This was nowhere on Batman's radar.
yeah. It all would have just gone off without a hitch. And
Yeah,
one
and then
day-
afterwards he can be like, I've buried your city, you have nothing left to save. Come work with me and we can try and save the world.
Yeah.
Instead of just this ruined city. And then maybe like after he's been defeated and you see Batman, I'm rewriting this whole story.
That's
you see
fine.
Batman like holding in the La Pieta pose, Alfred in his arms, and like Gordon is crushed over here. Like all of Gotham is just destroyed, and Roz comes in as the shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
Like, come with me, my son.
Okay, Papa.
You know my daughter. You know that we have the power to fix this wrong. And then if they continue that story, then maybe we'd see a more corrupted Batman, which I think would be interesting.
Ooh. But Batman's incorruptible.
That's true.
Yeah. Superman's corruptible.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. I actually just had a debate with my friend about this. Fuck you, Todd. Superman's a cool character. But Batman, incorruptible. But yeah, so we assume that everything's fine. Talia's like, well, I'm going to take over the Empire, but I'm not going to go
Roz
back.
falls into a pit.
Yes.
Kind of forgot that point.
He's not going to go. Talia's not going to use the same means. Batman gets another good solid kiss in there.
Oh, yeah.
Still shirtless, still in a cowl. And just trots off to the plane to fly off with Robin. And
I like to wonder what Robin was thinking was happening this whole time. Because that's what all he sees is him jump out of a plane and then come back shirtless with a girl.
Yeah.
He's like, gosh darn it, Batman.
I mean, I have no doubts that Dick Grayson is doing perfectly fine for himself.
Oh,
on
for sure.
On the dating front. I mean, again, we've talked about it before, best ass in comics. But at the same time, he has to be looking at her, she's like, jeez, this fucking guy. How does he pull that off? No one should be able to pull that off.
Yeah. No one should be able to wear a cowl and not a shirt.
Yeah, he should be like...
I had to fight to put tights on, and he just gets to walk around without a shirt. This is not fair, Bruce.
He just pulling the ladies with that look. But...
I wonder if Robin afterward like went into his room and just tried the tights with the mask and be like, no, it doesn't work the same.
I don't know. I'm picturing it and it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we know Roz isn't going to die, and of course, the last shot,
The
hand
hand.
coming out, and that
Bum,
beautiful cackle there.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, I think again from the latter episode, maybe a little bit silly. It's kind of got this whole like early 60s James Bond thing. Don't get me wrong, I love those movies, but they're kind of hokey.
Yeah.
But overall, these are great episodes.
Absolutely. It was, like we said before, it was probably the best storytelling that we'd seen from kind of the early 90s shows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And of course, I think part of the reason it's so good is, Roz is, I think, one of the best Batman villains of all time. I mean, the Joker is the most iconic and the one everyone knows. But Roz is still, he's a huge character. So as usual, I did a little research on this. And he was introduced by the comics I mentioned earlier from Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. But Julius Schwartz was an editor at DC who actually was also responsible for the creation of Batgirl, per our conversation last week. But he introduced the concept of the character and the name, and was also one of the driving forces that brought that more serious tone back to Batman comics, mostly through the work of O'Neil and Adams. So to our debate about the Roz versus Ra's,
even though I pretty much gave up immediately.
You did. You absolutely did. I just bullied my way through the whole thing. But so it is Arabic for the demon's head, and the Arabic pronunciation would be Roz.
Okay.
But the creator went with the Hebrew pronunciation, which is Raish. So when this was the first time the character had been spoken in audio medium, so anytime before you just read it so you could do your own thing. But when they were deciding how to say his name in the show, because they were so closely connected to the comics when they wrote this episode, they went for Raish. And then when, obviously, Christopher Nolan went to go do it, he wasn't as closely related to the actual inner workings of DC, and so he went with the Arabic pronunciation. If one were to try and say the way it's actually be pronounced, we know from Roz's post-crisis origin that he was born in a nomadic tribe on the Arabian Peninsula. So I'm going to run with the assumption that he would probably pronounce it the Arabic way.
Okay.
So that is, I think, as close as we can get to a definitive answer.
No, I liked that. I'm glad
yeah.
we dove into that.
Yeah, also, it means that I'm right.
Yeah. I never said that you were wrong. I just needed to take the opposite stance.
No, I totally appreciate that. Keep things edgy.
Yeah.
So
edgy. That's what people come for this podcast, is that sharp wit and that tenseful. What are they going to say next?
Oh, they're just waiting for a fight to break out, just a purely audio fight at some point. Be some great Foley work whenever that happens.
Oh man! Ow.
So, but the episode basically retains all of the major points of the character. Lives forever because, not forever, but for many hundreds of years because of the Lazarus Pit. He's an eco-terrorist. He runs international organizations.
I did enjoy, it was a brief moment, I did enjoy that he was friends with Napoleon.
I did like that. That was a cool little moment there because even Batman has a reaction like, what? Is it fucking crazy? Or what's he going for here?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he runs the League of Assassins. He has a daughter named Talia. That's all there. So I think what's interesting is that, Roz as a character pops up in a lot of the most famous Batman stories. So he was the villain who stole all of Batman's data about the Justice League in the Tower of Babel story, which was then adapted to Justice League Doom.
Which is a great movie.
Great movie. And they cut him out in the adaptation of that. They simplified things down. But he appears in a lot of other stuff, too. So, for example, you've read Hush, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he has a small role in Hush. If they ever were to adapt it, I think they could cut out his part in the whole thing, kind of. Actually, well, maybe not. Because the Lazarus Pit is a huge factor in how the Riddler gets clarity.
But
they could probably work around it. They could find a way.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the really big story, especially in the last few years, so you look at Under the Red Hood with the reintroduction of Jason Todd, both in the comics and the adaptation, it's Roz and the Lazarus Pit that bring him back. It'd be really hard to do that in another format without introducing him as a character. And then I think especially you look at Damian. I think the most significant new character in comics.
Grandpa.
Yeah, he's Roz's grandson, and I fully suspect that at some point they're probably going to do Damian in the movies, just because we have established that there is a dead Robin. We can assume that's Jason Todd. We know there's a Nightwing because they're making the movie.
Yep.
They're not going to not have a Robin. The most interesting choice would be Damian, maybe more so than Tim Drake, just because Damian has that family relation. The challenge becomes, what do you do with that? Because I think the Roz they did in Batman Begins was great. I don't know. How'd you feel about the version they did of Roz in,
I loved
Begins?
it. Yeah, as Liam Neeson was awesome. I think we've talked about this before. That training montage at the beginning is one of my favorite moments in the whole Nolanverse.
It's great.
When you actually see the League and how they act, and yeah, I mean that. I loved his interpretation of Roz.
Yeah, and of course, like that plot twist, you could see coming a mile away because you don't cast Liam Neeson in your movie and not make him
the
ultimate villain.
Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, I think I've always given credit to Nolan for knowing how to get the essence of the characters really well. But what I always found a little bit disappointing was I thought he often jettisoned kind of the fun trappings, right? So we got, I think, a very essentially authentic version of Roz, just in terms of his aims, his means, and just kind of the way he behaves. And even his appreciation for Batman. Like, even that story, he sees Bruce as being the natural heir to that whole organization, right? To be his right-hand man. But we miss out on things like actually having a Lazarus pit. We miss out on him calling him detective. And they especially botched the Talia thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think one character where they really didn't get the essence of her right. I think that they wrote themselves in a place where she made sense. But I think that's always been a super interesting dynamic. Maybe Batman's most interesting, like, romantic partner. I think Catwoman maybe equal footing just in terms of the complexity of it.
Yeah.
But I mean that they did it in such a kind of glancing, half-assed fashion. I think it'd be really hard to reintroduce those two characters because one was done so well and one was done so poorly. How do you do that again? Like,
well, so my fear when you bring up the Damien thing, my fear is they're going to short it to us where it'll be like him and Catwoman's son because she's a much easier villain to play or to bring out because people know her.
Yeah.
And they can have like, they can kind of twist the story of like, oh, she kept it a secret and she kind of trained him to be like this thief and this like petty criminal.
Right. They could
and
do
then
that.
It's him trying to change him. And that's just bad. I mean, it makes sense story-wise.
It does.
But it will make a lot of people angry.
It will, and
but as we've learned,
they don't care.
Doesn't care about us at all.
Because I think it seems like I've always said that one of the downsides of Nolan is that since he did so many of these elements, sometimes well, sometimes poorly, it's hard to follow that up. And I feel like the new approach has basically been, instead of Nolan, where it's like, okay, get the essence of the character and change the kind of superficial elements. I feel like what the new Warner Brothers is doing, the new DC stuff, is all the superficial stuff is done perfectly, and at their essence, all the characters are completely flawed.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the bat suit, like the mech bat suit especially, when he's fighting Superman, that looks great. Like, yeah, there's like direct pulls from the comics, but the underlying tension between the two characters and their motivations completely flawed. So you're right. Maybe that's what they're doing.
If I meet someone with the same mom name as me, we're friends immediately.
Oh, yeah. It's just, boom, we're set.
Yeah. I don't care if he murdered a bunch of people.
Yeah. So I don't know. I want to see Damien done well. I think he's an interesting character. We've talked about the animated movies don't necessarily do a great job with him.
No.
But what's cool about him is that, I mean, he is a great foil for Batman. He is Batman's inner fear that he'll...
So he is, I don't remember if we talked about this last week. He is the Robin in Judas Contract.
Yeah.
And that's a little, he does it a little better there.
Okay. That is out, by the way.
Yeah, it's out now.
Yeah. I still didn't put in the plugs.
That's fine. His interaction with Deathstroke is a lot of fun.
Oh, I could see that.
Because Deathstroke is like so belittling to him, but
Yeah.
he's like, obviously Damien sees himself above everyone except his grandpa.
Yeah.
And like I love their fight scenes are so cool.
Okay, that I guess it's worth checking out for maybe that.
Yeah,
that alone, because Damon is a super interesting character, and I would like to see them do it. I don't know how they're going to do it well at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of my whole feeling towards all of DC.
Towards all of it, right? But I don't know. I mean, that's kind of my whole big thing on Roz. Any other talking points on?
None.
On Raish?
On Raish, it was really late for them to put this fact in, but I don't know if you saw this on Amazon. The reason they aged Robin up so much in this iteration is because the censors wouldn't allow children to be kind of in dangerous situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Wait, you found that on Amazon?
Yeah, that was there were like 3 really boring fun facts during this episode, and that was one of them.
Is that where you get all your trivia from? Is the Amazon?
I mean, I get a couple things from there.
I didn't realize they even had trivia on there.
Yeah,
Where does
and
it pop up?
on the side where it shows all the actors' names. If you hover over it on the,
are you watching on a computer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm watching
you're
it on.
watching
I'm watching the Xbox.
Okay.
By the way, guys, never buy an Xbox. It's a piece of shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thank God I had it on DVD today because like it just wouldn't sign into Xbox Live or sign into my Amazon account.
Oh no.
I mean, I had power, so that's a small step up.
Yeah.
But still.
I'm not going to go into it. We're out of time.
I know. That's fine. We've been running them wrong a lot recently.
Bat plugs.
Yeah. Bat plugs.
Transition.
Yeah. Segway.
That's going to be, I think we should make that.
Cut that out and then just put that in every week.
Yeah.
Why you make me do more work?
Because I don't have to.
Oh, right. Of course. We should mention real quick that we have an intro now.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you guys heard that.
We got it in time to put it in the last episode, but not in time to talk about it. So it was my friend Ardashir, who I'd worked with. He's an amazing composer. He literally saved a short film that I produced because it was so poorly handled that he came through and put a score on it and the whole thing worked. Yeah, so he did the music for us, which is awesome. I absolutely love it. And then I got the lightning strike sound effects from Grant Evans on Sound Bible. So basically, it's just you can go on there and you can use sound effects for free. You just have to attribute who it came from.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we have a new intro, guys, and we might now have a fucking bat plug.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun.
I mean, but I should have done like the theme and then bat plug, not segue.
That's fine.
But whatever.
what are you watching, reading, listening to?
You know, I have not too much. I actually did watch Iron Fist.
Okay. Are you all the way through?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, I never finished it.
You never finished it?
No.
It's not.
I'm like halfway through episode 7.
It's
and
not.
I got distracted.
It's not great.
Yeah.
It's definitely the weakest of all of them.
That's what I hear.
But it's not. I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's very tone deaf at times. The acting's not as good, and I think this one especially really drags. Like if there was always kind of like weak points in the stories, this one especially. But it's okay. It's fine. Like I basically just watched it because I wanted to have seen everything going into the Defenders. Because this does do a lot of stuff with the hand, which I think will come into big play in the next thing. But it's fine. Mm-hmm. But we've already had that as a plug once. That can't really be my official plug. So the reason I haven't been reading that much recently is because I'm also reading A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. Sometimes I read intellectual things.
No, I gave you that look because I'm very intrigued.
So it is a look at U.S. history, but it's not from the perspective that we always see. That's like that classic quote about history is written by the winners, right? Well, this is from the perspective of the people who like kind of suffer all the way through. So like the colonization of America, it's kind of talks about what that was like for the Native Americans that are already here and for the slaves that are brought over and all the indentured servants. And then I'm at the part now talking about the American Revolution, about how it was a means to escape British rule, but in a lot of ways it was a way to redirect the frustrations of the poor in the colonies to a third party that they could fight against rather than directing it at the wealthy elite. So all the names that you have associated with the revolutions like John Adams and George Washington and like Alexander Hamilton, all these guys. Alexander Hamilton, all these guys.
My name is Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, keep going.
No.
Okay.
All I need.
That they were kind of using people a little bit for their own means.
Interesting.
So, and it's kind of that through all of U.S. history. So it's taken me a while to get through because it's dense, but it's really well written. So if you want a different perspective on things, it's a good way to go.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and then maybe next week I should read a comic book or something. But
No, we don't need that.
this week it's boring. But what about you? What have you been checking out?
So last week I forgot to plug this because I had so many other things to plug. But Dimension 404 finally came out.
What is that?
So Rocket Jump, Freddie Wong's company, do these amazing YouTube videos.
Oh, I've seen
and
some
a
of
few
those.
weeks
Okay.
or a few years ago they did Video Game High School, which is one of my favorite web series of all time. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. I think every episode is on Netflix now.
Okay.
But it's so wonderful. It's basically a world where if high school sports weren't actually sports, but they were video game genres, and it's just so wonderful. The football team is like the FPS team, the first person shooter team.
Oh, what?
Yeah, and then like the Richie Rich people are the real time strategy players, and it's so cool. I highly recommend this show.
It's live action?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
But their new show has finally come out, Dimension 404. They've been working on for the past 2 or 3 years, and it's kind of like a sci-fi. It's like a more fun Black Mirror.
Okay.
It's a lot more sci-fi.
Oh, is that on Hulu?
Yes.
Okay, I've been
It's a
seeing ads
Hulu
for it, and I haven't
exclusive.
watched it yet.
Yeah, and I'm amazed at the talent they got pulled into this because it's like actual, because VGHS was all YouTubers, but this is like actual actors, and like William
wow.
Michelle is in the first episode,
what?
and the Major from iZombie, whose name I don't remember.
Okay.
He's the main character in the first episode, and it's great. I had so much. I mean,
looking this
4
up.
episodes are out right now, and it's just kind of fun. It's like if you liked Black Mirror, and if you really like, it's more of a kind of Twilight Zone updated for now.
What? Okay, I'm looking at it on IMDb. Holy shit. So Mark Hamill's the narrator. Joel McHale's in, it says 5 episodes.
Okay, yeah, he's
Patton Oswalt.
yeah, he's in episode 2.
Sarah Hyland. That's
Modern
Family, right? Yeah.
the oldest daughter.
Megan Mullally. Wow, really great cast.
Yeah,
What? Okay, I gotta check this out. This looks amazing.
yeah, and it's just kind of a really fun show.
Oh.
And to counterbalance that, I also watched 13 Reasons Why, the new Netflix series.
Oh yeah.
And, cool. That was. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
But I can't recommend it for people because it's
Is it
so
just so heavy?
It's so depressing.
Aw.
The premise is a girl kills herself. A high school girl kills herself, and makes these 13 cassette tapes explaining why she did it. The 13 reasons that led up to her killing herself.
Oh wow, that's
And man,
pretty heavy shit.
like I obviously, I've brought it up a few times. I had a very unusual high school experience. 1, going to a Catholic private school, and 2, going to an all-guys school. So I don't...
And being a cheerleader.
And being a cheerleader, but that doesn't play into it very much. I don't know kind of what it was like for public schoolers, and especially now when everyone has a phone and everyone's connected to each other at all times, how that plays into it. But it's such a interesting take on kind of what high schoolers go through right now, and I feel like it's a very authentic take on it.
Oh, interesting. I do kind of want to check it out. I was a little turned off. I thought it was a movie originally, and then I figured out it was a show. It's
Yeah.
like, oh. But it probably works better as a show than an...
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Dude, I think I'll check out Dimension 404 first.
Yeah, I recommend that.
Yeah. Sometimes you need something fun.
Yeah.
But
I need something fun now
Yeah,
because
but
that like really dropped me
yeah,
down.
you're the first person who has mentioned 13 Reasons Why, and it looks pretty good. So I have to check that out. I think that does it, though.
Yeah.
Right? So, as always, we are at Timm Talk Pod on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Oh, right. And I'm at Lordifer.
I'm at Cameron.Dexter.
You think at this point I would know how to do this?
32 times, and this is the first time you've messed it up.
There's no way that's true.
I think that's true.
I mean, I should know better because I have to listen to them all at least twice.
Yeah.
But thank you for thinking that's the first time that I fucked up.
Right.
But then what are we back with next week? I'm not even sure. It's not a 2-parter. I think it's Fire from Olympus with Maxie Zeus and
Zeus, I like him.
Yeah, but we are getting very close to Mask of the Phantasm.
Next month.
Yeah.
We are 1 month away from Phantasm.
Super excited about that. I think it's 3 episodes from now, actually. God, I'm so excited about that one.
Yeah.
Man, if these have been long, that's going to be long.
That might be a 2-parter. We don't know. We'll see.
Ooh. No, it's more work. But until then, thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
The Nerdist School Network. For class and show information, visit nerdistschool.com.